Hi, you're watching Investor Insights, and in this video I want to talk about the stock market as a wealth generator as opposed to the FX market, which is a zero-sum game. Now, the stock market generates wealth, plain and simple. The FX market is essentially a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game is one where one person wins and another person loses in the same amount. So technically there's a net zero position. But the stock market is totally different. The stock market would generate an immense amount of wealth, and just as quickly as it can create it, it can destroy it. Think about stock XYZ, for example. Now, this company is about to list. It's going to sell 1 million shares, each priced at $1. Now, when it lists, people flock in like a whole big bunch of stupid lemmings, and they bid the stock up to $5. Now, the people that only sold 1 million shares only needed $1 million. So the shares that are outstanding are now worth $5 million because they've been bid up. So technically, the people should have asked for more in the IPO, but that's a different discussion. Now, the company is worth $5 million. And the shareholders, the people who bought into the IPO at $1 are now have shares that are now worth $5. Where did the extra $4 come from? It's not like somebody put $4 into the system onto every share. It's just that the last publicly traded price of the stock was $5. It doesn't matter if the stock traded at $1 all day, but at the end of the day, on the close, some clown paid $5, and that makes all the shares worth $5. And technically that's $4 million of wealth created by this one last transaction. So as you can see, the stock market generates wealth. Now, keep in mind that wealth is paper wealth. It's not real wealth until people decide to crystallize their gains. But most people in our day and age are married to their positions, they're married to their stocks, and they're never going to let go. Sad fact of life, but that's not what we're going to do. So if ever you hear the phrase, the stock market is a wealth creator, there couldn't be a more correct statement. The richest people in the world have the majority of their wealth from the stock market or in the stock market. And for you to make a lot of money, you have to deal in stocks, because stocks are the biggest returning asset over the long term compared to every other asset class. FX or FX trading is a zero-sum game. You're not going to be expected to generate huge amounts of wealth from that. You can make a living out of it, but you're not going to generate a great deal of wealth out of it. It's good to do a mixture of both. You know, if you know how to trade FX, do it. If you know how to invest in stocks, do that too. So that if one fails, the other one can succeed, or both succeeds. If both fails, take a step back, get re-educated. But the flip side to that wealth creator phrase is that the stock market can also be the biggest destroyer of wealth. And just as that $5 bid at the end of the day made everybody $4 on the initial public offering price of $1. If some clown comes in and bids 10 cents and he gets executed, then everybody lost 90% of their investment on paper. So can you see how you can have it one way or the other? But either way, the stock market can crush you. The FX market can also crush you, but that's because there's a lot of leverage in the system. Just plain FX by itself, with no margin, no leverage, it's very difficult to get crushed. How often do you see a currency move 100% against you? It's not going to happen. So be very wary when you're trading the stock market. Be very wary that as easy as you can make money from it, it's just as easy you can lose money from it. And if you start to play with leverage in a margin account playing stocks, you can make even more money or lose twice as much money. It doesn't matter. You just have to learn to respect the stock market and to be willing to accept any profit that it gives you before they turn into a loss. And especially in these times where the stock markets are being manipulated by the central banks, you've got to be willing to be very nimble and be very willing to accept any sort of decent profit that's made available to you.